Welcome to the second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside
It's your boy, Mr. Hit the like button, sub to the channel, Mr. Caesar Fantastic. And yo, she got some news for the week, man. We're going to talk about, man. But first of all, it's been out with you, bruh.
Hey, I'm good, brother. How about yourself, man? I'm in the building, man. How about
Hey,
yourself?
man, I'm chilling, man. Chilling.
It's
Hey,
been a
yo,
while since we did this, man. I'm
we
glad to
did
be
this
back
one.
doing this, man.
Yeah. We got to start making this a thing again.
Yes, indeed.
But man, we got some news to talk about. Talk about for the week. You know what I mean? Let's just kick it off with your man, the Golden Boy himself, saying he coming back. He getting back and going full fledged back into this promoting game. How you feel about that?
Man, C's, I'm happy that he's back. It's necessary, and I understand his reasons for trying to capitalize on an opportunity I think he is there. And I mean, I've been noticing the hints throughout the past few months where he kept saying the same old thing, like I want to make the big fights, I want to make the big fights happen. And that's how he was saying, I want to make the big fights. And I saw where he was going with this at. I knew it was some plays coming down the road. I knew between this Javante Tank Davis situation that he was also, and the Garcia fight, which was going to be an opportunity for him to have leverage to bring in people.
Yeah.
As far as the lineups of fighters that I saw come meet him I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Yeah. Crawford, Berlanga. He trying to make some waves, man. He trying to make some waves, man. I think he see the chink in the armor. You know what I'm saying? You see the chink in the armor, man.
I agree. And I always liked him as a promoter, personally.
Yeah.
The fights were happening. I'm going to be real with you. The fights were happening. I'm also going to say this. The reason for his downfall was not his business. It was the drug habit. I think it was the drug habit which caused his demise as a fighter. I mean, as a promoter.
As a promoter.
I really believe deep down inside that the drug habit created that loss and of his demise for that temporary moment.
Yeah,
it's a fighter. He's going to make a comeback. That's just his nature, man.
Nature. He like the competition.
Yeah,
starving for that competition, some kind of way. He wanna compete, man. So, I mean, I wish him the best, and I think it can't be nothing but good for the sport. You know what I'm saying? For me, everything all it revolves around what's best for the sport of boxing and what's best for, you know what I mean, everybody as a whole. And more promoters, more eyes, more everything. Just it make it a lot easier and better all around. So I'm not mad at him. I'm rooting for him. I hope every promoter succeed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because when the promoter succeed, the fighter succeed, and that's all we want at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
And you was talking earlier about when fights don't happen, we got to put the responsibilities on the promoters. We can't no longer put it on the fighters.
I always say, I will say it and I say it again, man. I'm never gonna say a fighter ducking another fighter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't believe it. I can't believe that one fighter, a boxer, is scared of another boxer. Like, nah, it's always in the promoter's hands to me, because I never seen it. Like I say, I seen guys come in the ring 1-52.
Right.
To fight somebody who 20-0. You feel me? And they get in there and try their hand. Like, whatever. I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? They know what's gonna happen, but hey, I'm a fighter. I'm gonna do it.
You're a veteran fighter or a fighter that's been around the amateur games for a while, especially this group that's now pro, that's been in pro for a while. They used to challenges. They not running from challenges. It's been their nature for their whole life. So why would they run from one now? They don't make sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't get it. So all that ducking talk, y'all can take that somewhere else because it ain't gonna fly over this way.
Exactly.
But you was talking about Oscar and his habits. Another fighter got caught up with the booger sugar. Kell Brook got caught.
I saw that. Wow.
And his nose all in the booger sugar. What you think about it?
Man, we talk about this all the time. Mental health is a major issue in boxing. The Limelight, he even mentioned that, his retirement, man, that's a hard thing to swallow, hard pill to swallow. I mean, I was just an amateur, and I know the pressure of being away from that limelight. And that limelight was very, very addictive. The crowd is rooting for you. The crowd is in your favor constantly. You in your name, your ego's pumped to the 10th power. And I wasn't even a world champion. So I can imagine walking away from this beloved sport and you can no longer hear the crowd screaming your name. That's a lot of pressure to have to deal with as a fighter. So a lot of us boxers and former boxers tend to go to drugs, alcohol, and it's a void that we think we feeling and actually we're hurting ourselves. I was a victim of alcohol. The Limelight, my brother, also, we all became victims of that because we missed the spotlight of being what we could have been. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the reason. What we could have been. We know we was the best at what we did, but we never even got a chance to prove it.
Yeah.
Which hurts sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Imagine being a world champion. You proved it.
You done got to that level.
And then now you can no longer prove it to nobody else. Now you're comparing yourself to another fighter that's still fighting today.
No.
He's still the champion. He took that was your old belt now, and he has your belt now. You comparing yourself to the group of guys.
Yeah. That's
I saw that when he threw them punches. You notice when he snorted it, he did like this.
Yeah.
That's how I used to do when I get drunk. After I used to get drunk. Same thing. Going back in time. I said he missed the sport. He missed the sport. The sport that crowd is quiet is bothering him.
Yeah.
Mental health is a real issue, man. Brothers, we gotta find new voids. Find new things to make money with. It's other avenues, it's other things to do to make money. It's other ways to not just make money, it's other ways to occupy your mind.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say, man. That's why I'm always an advocate for fighters, ex-fighters getting into other avenues of the sport. So you can stay in the sport that you love, the thing you've been growing up doing. I want more fighters being judges. I want more fighters being refs.
Exactly.
I want more fighters doing podcasts and interviewing other fighters. I want more fighters doing, you know what I mean? You look at Sean Porter and how he doing with his thing, man. And
yes, indeed.
It's like that. Dang, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He's still in the sport. He's still around the sport, still around his peers. And he doing good. And, I think fighters should take back their sport, man.
I agree, man.
In all aspects,
And you brought up an interesting point with that, Sean. I totally agree with that to the point where I had to do the same thing, man. I had to start training people. I trained over 500 clients with boxing. That void it fulfilled all the voids that I had. I would have a class of 40, 60, probably 50 people per class sometimes. And that fulfilled the void. And I was helping people. I helped so many people change their lives. Change so many lives. I just was happy to be back involved in the sport in some way, somehow. And I can honestly say I made 6 figures in earnings from something I love to do.
Yeah.
Now, this podcast, this is something that got me back involved in the sport.
Yeah.
I don't drink. I walked away from that in 2014 when I retired from my job and started working for myself. The void was fulfilled with boxing. Boxing filled that was what kept me away from alcohol and drugs as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back to it. I had to
Mm-hmm.
go back to that mindset of I'm a boxer. I gotta keep myself clean. I ain't taking no punches, but I'm still back to that mentality.
That mentality, yeah.
Mentality
Can't
to
lose
keep
that mentality.
exactly, and that something that saved my life as a child, saving my life as an adult right now to this day. Kell Brooks, brother, we all been down similar paths. Alcohol and drugs is the same thing. Cocaine, you know what I'm saying? It's the same vice that can cause problems, especially if you don't know how to handle it. Being on that video, I saw it that some recklessness could occur from doing that coke, man. Stay away from it, brother. Please fulfill that void with boxing in some form of fashion. If you got to start the Kell Brooks podcast, that will help because you'll get numbers, you'll create revenue streams. Start a Kell Brooks fitness class, create a gym, learn how to invest, and you will be okay. It's 8 billion, I think is what 8.5 billion. How many people's on the planet? It's 8 billion now, right?
Yeah.
8 billion people on the planet. Each boxer, each 10,000 boxers can be a fitness trainer and make millions of dollars, and nobody will hurt the other person. However many, it could be 100,000 boxers that former boxers. We can all make it millions of dollars off of training people and saving lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that void will be fulfilled. Just seeing how you can help other people. That's for any boxers out here, all around the world. If you have some economic problems, go to what works best for you. You know how to train, you know how to lose weight, and you know how to condition yourself, and you can teach others the same way you learned it. It's time to go within yourself and occupy your mind and make money at the same time. That's advice I'm giving right there for anybody out there if they feel as though that boxing itch is bothering them. It's a way to get back involved with doing things like training people. You can even go start your own. Or some people might want to be a trainer. That's what the sport's missing. That's what the sport needs. We need veterans to come back and teach the youth how to do it right. That way, that keeps the sport going over, a revolving cycle over and over again. Kell Brooks, there's a young man in London that needs your help right now.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, he'll be helping you.
Exactly.
You don't even know.
Exactly.
You don't even know. But yo, back to something else more. Well, I guess that's current too. But something else that's going on. Got Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fight coming up, hopefully in April. And a location has been identified as a possible location, and that's Allegiant Stadium in Vegas where the Raiders play. What do you think about that location and what they could do in that location?
I think it's perfect for that location. They'll sell out 70,000 people in Vegas easily. Yeah. And I'll be one of them. They will sell out that arena easily, and that will break so many records as far as boxing in America. I mean, we had fights at Dallas Stadium, but it was only a portion being sold. I don't know nobody sold that place out. It was a portion of it that was.
Yeah, Canelo did 70 something.
He did 70. Okay. So,
but I think only like 60 something sold.
So yeah. So imagine 70,000
like
people,
60, 66 or something,
in that whole arena, sell out that whole place like that with them. And you talking about these youngins is bringing. You got his fan base, Ryan's fan base blended with Gervonta Tank fan base. It easily sells 70,000
and
easily.
a slew of casuals there.
And a
It's
slew
a
of
slew
casual.
of casuals.
But listen to this though, Sean. I listened to Oscar De La Hoya, who we talked about earlier. He was like, let's bring back the old way. I like that. Like go from city to city, sell it out, sell out the pay-per-view event. See, some things you don't go against. Now, that blueprint worked for him and Floyd Mayweather. So, I mean, when they fought and when he had fought the guys that was under him against Floyd Mayweather, that blueprint worked over and over and over again, and it broke records after records. Oscar wants to go back to that way. Let me tell you something. I don't want none of y'all think I'm not no big super Oscar De La Hoya fan, but I understand logic in business. I would never not understand that. I'm a former promoter. I promoted major events with the artists that you know. So I understand that concept of going out, reaching the people, being amongst the people in other states so you can build a electrifying momentum for that city that you go to. When you go to Cincinnati, you're guaranteed at least 100,000 buys from Cincinnati. You see what I'm saying? New York City, you're guaranteed 1 million buys in New York City. In DC, you're guaranteed 600,000 buys in the whole DMV area. That's because you coming today, the people get to see you. Like he said, Oscar was saying, we're going to have the people right there. They'll be able to see it. So they can rent out these major arenas, have the people come see them, have it hyped up as though, like how we were just recently at Javante Take Fight. That's an electrifying feeling to have somebody right there in press conferences right there. That's what you want to do. Bring that back. That's a smart idea. Oscar, you on one. You need to stick to that. You was the blueprint behind it. Actually, that started with him, and I don't think it was Floyd. It was before Floyd fight, I think. Maybe Floyd. Maybe him and Floyd going around. I know him and Floyd was going from place to place all over, and they look what they do, break numbers. So Oscar's trying to do the same thing. He said, get 2 jets, rent 2 jets, and let's go. Let's go from city to city. Genius, man. Genius.
I wasn't a big fan of the tour things because all they got to a point of doing was a couple cities, New York, Vegas, LA, every time. Now, if they do go to other places, other locations, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like if you just going to the same 2-3 cities, what's the use? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they should do multiple cities. They came to DC, Philly. They went to Baltimore.
No, I'm talking about recently. All they've been talking about.
Demise. That's what caused the demise of the numbers.
That's when I was like, okay, now this ain't really cool because all they doing is going to the same.
It's no point in that because you can get those people. They don't use. That's guaranteed in those cities that you called out.
Yeah, it's like, come on now, what's the use? Like, so right. if you're really going grassroots, really trying to build some fans and integrate new fans, then okay, go for it, dude. Go to Biloxi, Mississippi. Then you know what I'm saying? Something crazy. I'm joking, but
circuit right there.
I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying. I'm saying go to some of the smaller markets.
Man. Yeah, like Richmond or
let them people
that's
see.
Really a chitlin market
fans.
too, though. Be honest with you.
Yeah, cities but like Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. Bigger cities.
You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta,
big city.
Atlanta,
go to Houston. Or something like that.
Chicago and all of those places. And go up and down this joker. Just go.
Yeah, so I get that. I'm with that. So, and that's another problem that boxing has is getting new fans involved.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Getting new fans. You putting everything on pay-per-view or on the apps and the zone and all that. You know, people who aren't into boxing aren't having a way to get into boxing.
Facts.
I know when I started watching boxing was Tuesday night fights. It was
Likewise.
on TV. I'm flipping the channels and I'm
You
like,
see it.
yeah, and it's on. So now weekly on Tuesdays, here you go. I'm looking.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you don't get that. So you're not able to bring in new fans
True.
as easy. You know what I mean? That's why the boxing fan base is getting older and older. Younger folks, they go on UFC. That be on TV.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, it's on TV. Most of them, they do like 1 or 2 pay-per-views. Or they do like 1 a month or something. You know what I mean? So, but most of them on TV. You don't gotta download the app or find nothing. You know what I mean? It's right in your face. So boxing got to find a way to get back to that as well, to really build new fans. Now, one thing that's doing it, and what older fans and hardcore boxing fans hate, is the influence of boxing.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I was on social and I seen some youngins at a fight, at an influencer fight. You know what I mean? I mean, they felt like it was a real fight. I'm happy for them. But you know what I mean? But it's getting people interested in the sport. So, so boxing needs something like that. Just, go back, go back to what worked,
And I totally agree, C's, man. I think you definitely hit a point, man. It's a two-way battle. Like Oscar figured out the in my opinion, he figured out the pay-per-view problem. You figured out, in my opinion, what you stated to me earlier, and now you mentioned it now, is the issue between regular TV audience to try to gravitate and snatch up some of these casual fans. Mm-hmm. Just like when football was pay-per-view, would you watch?
Super Bowl wouldn't be
what
big.
If the Super Bowl was pay-per-view, for example? What if the Super Bowl was pay-per-view?
Yeah.
How many fans will football lose to pay-per-view subscription?
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
So we have to learn to use other industries' methods in building this sport for longevity. Yeah. Pay-per-view is going to destroy boxing.
Yeah, it's too many.
Over the long haul. Look what it's doing. Back in the days, it was only 3 or 4 fights a year that was pay-per-view fights. Yeah. It shouldn't be 85 pay-per-view fights a year.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. That doesn't do nothing but dilute the sport of boxing with all these 1,900 pay-per-view fights a year.
And it fleeced the fans.
It's fans only 4 to 5 worthy pay-per-view fighters, man. That's how it was always been.
Always been.
That's how it always been, and that's how it always should be. Rest of y'all, you still can make your 1.5 million and 3 million and 4 million. But that 40, 50 million stuff, that was for 1 to 5 people. Actually, that time was only 1 making 50. 2, Holyfield and Mike Tyson. During those days in the 90s.
That's it.
Now, over a period of time, Ray Leonard made over 90 over his career back then in the 80s and 90s, but he wasn't always on pay-per-view. I don't think pay-per-view exists during that time frame. Somewhat, during that time. He was a big HBO. You got to watch him on HBO. I think he did do a pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken, but it's different than how it is now.
Yeah, now they trying to give me
everybody pay-per-view, man. I knew some fights I saw that had no business on no goddamn pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That Ruiz and Ortiz fight was not no pay-per-view fight.
Nope.
Couple of Wilder fights wasn't no pay-per-view fights that I saw.
Remember, back then you had ESPN fights, HBO fights was the big ones. The big ones. And Tyson and Holyfield was pay-per-view.
Exactly.
But if you was on HBO, you was on.
You was on. That's all you needed. All you needed was HBO.
Other than remember what was that? Burt Cooper?
Bert Cooper,
when he fought, and he was like, no more ESPN fights for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because ESPN was the joint that raised you. When you got the HBO,
exactly.
you was on. You was on. Level. So yeah, so it's like, come on now, y'all gotta get back to that too. Like, everything ain't pay-per-view.
That's real. Every fight ain't meant to be on pay-per-view. Now, Javante built his way up to pay-per-view. He is a pay-per-view fighter. I'm going to say that.
Fighter. I think Tank, Spence pay-per-view fighter. Canelo's
pay-per-view fighter.
Wilder
pay-per-view fighter.
That might be it.
And because Wilder lost to this guy, he's a pay-per-view.
Oh, Fury, yeah. Oh no, I'm only counting Americans because him and Joshua pay-per-view guys. They doing
exactly.
I can't even. I would pay numbers.
I would pay top dollars to see him and Joshua still fight. That's still one of those Holyfield, Mike Tyson fights right there.
Yeah.
I say that, and they both lost, and they still would do nothing. Mike Tyson Holyfield was already took a couple of L's in 47, still was $100 million fight.
Yeah.
I still see the same thing happening between Joshua and Wilder. That's a pay-per-view blockbuster. Yeah. Still.
Like I was saying, what I say earlier about them fleecing the fans or whatever, and how could you imagine if you put a big fight like Spence and Crawford fight, for example, on Fox, and how much you could charge for ads?
Exactly.
How much you could charge for ads, and just that could pay for the fight, everything. You know what I'm saying?
You talked about that, and you gave the blueprint on that.
Right.
Basically, what C's is trying to say, y'all, just follow the blueprint of football with the Super Bowl.
What?
And you crushing the ads.
2.5 or 2 million something per ad.
We split the ad revenue. You give me 15% of the ad revenues to the fighters.
Yeah.
We walk away with we will have over 2 million viewers, probably more than that.
Yeah, that's the 2 million ain't not. That's not for that fight. You on 10, 12 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like 12 million for them, but you'll do numbers, right?
But you know how much you could charge ads for, for that fight. That's what I'm saying. For that fight, for a big fight like that, you could bust them in ads.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say Super Bowl numbers, but it
won't be Super Bowl numbers, but it'll be a lot of numbers.
100K an ad is crazy to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You run 3 ads per what you call it, you know what I'm saying, per commercial break. Come on now. Maybe for a boxing joint it'll be 2 because the rounds, you know what I'm saying?
A minute rounds.
Still. Yeah. So
and I mean, it's just like football. Football is not a long time because of the timeouts might be about 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, not timeouts like a minute too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Timeout. Yeah, like 90 seconds.
So when we just gave boxing a blueprint right now. Basically, you could go and change the pay-per-view thing to similar to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you can still have your certain pay-per-views, you know what I'm saying? But for some of them pay-per-views, I would go like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, I think realistically that could generate profit.
Exactly. I agree, see.
You do it because you think you're gonna charge, then you're gonna charge ads. You could charge more for the ads in the venue.
Fact.
Like on the ring ads and all that type of stuff, the signage and stuff like that. So come on now, like these dudes supposed to be businessmen, like they supposed to be business minded, man. They ain't thinking that way to me.
Exactly, I agree, man. I agree, C's. It's the sport has to be revolutionized and transformed if it want to survive.
Big Lou in the chat.
What's up, Lou? What's going on, brother Lou?
But
yeah, going on with you, brother?
They need to figure something out, man, because it's fading fast, and I hate to see the fall of the sport and something like that. You know what I mean? But Next up, man, let's talk about this. Speaking of Tank and Ryan, talk about that division. Well, Ryan at 140 now, but this gonna be at a catch weight. Let's talk about that division, man. Who you think when it's all said and done? You got Shakur up there now. Got Keyshawn rising. Devin says he's gonna stay there at least the rest of the year. So who you think gonna be the king of the ring up at that division?
When we first started this podcast, the Second Win Boxing Media, I think that was one of our first topics. Who was going to dominate 135? We saw the supremacy of that weight class. I've always said it, and I'm going to stick to this, what I said when the guy was at 130 pounds. Shakur Stevenson will dominate and will be the king of 135 when the smoke clears. Now, there's been a little a new added layer to it. Gary Russell Jr. added himself to the list.
Yeah.
That's what makes it kind of a little more complicated to make that decision based upon him coming in the equation. My thing is, because he still has the boxing IQ, it's going to be hard as hell to beat that man. Because of the boxing IQ that he has. I want to see more. I want to see what he's at, how comfortable he is. How comfortable he is at 135, and then I will give my take and add Gurry to the list of the 135. Yeah. Right now, as I'm talking, based upon who's in that weight class right now. First, I really got to give my retake on what Shakur Stevenson can do, because he just hit 35. Right. Haven't fought at 35 yet.
Yeah, gotta see how he.
I have to see how he do, but I put him in the making to dominate 135 when he was fighting
back when he was at 130. So yeah, you got to stand on that, champ.
I'm standing on it. I still think it will be supreme. But you know me, I stick to my rules. It's DC or nothing for me, baby, all day long.
I'm with you on that. Gurry, we wasn't thinking about Gurry going up there though.
I know. So that's what kind of put the monkey wrench in there, is the fact that Gary Russell Jr. has came up to 135. So I'm rocking with home team. DC or nothing, always, all day, every day.
Yeah, like you said, man, we got to see how he do, how he show to come back, and how he deal with it up there. 35. God, you got Keyshawn, you got Devin, you got Loma, you got Tank. What did I say back now? No. We did the which guy. We ain't do 35, just 35.
We did 35.
We did.
Yeah, we did 35. We definitely.
I guess I did. I agree with the Shakur. Did what you did? I'm trying to think of what I said.
Nah, you went with Devin. I think on that.
Nah. Keemy went with Devin. I ain't go with Devin. I probably went with Tank.
Keemy did go with Devin.
Yeah, Keemy went with Devin. I think I went with Tank.
I think you did go with Tank, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Lou, 35 to high division, man. I'm trying to think. Would I stick with Tank? I think Tank now. Yeah, we sticking with what we sticking with. Sticking with Tank. You know what I'm saying? 35 at Tank. Yeah, I'm sticking with Tank because I still think he could catch everybody. I think he's gonna eventually crack everybody. Yeah,
I got Shakur. I'm with Shakur on if them two. If it ball down to them two, in my opinion. Shakur just brings something special to me, man. In my opinion,
he hard to hit. He hard to hit.
It's not just like Devin and Tank. Tank would knock Devin out.
Mm-hmm.
Tank would knock Devin. I don't think it's nothing Devin could do to stop that power. I don't think it's nothing he can do to stop Tank's power.
Yeah.
Now,
jab ain't gonna work.
Shakur a different person though, man. He bring a different element, man. To
he hard to catch, and he never out of position. He fundamentally sound.
Exactly.
Him and Tank will be vicious.
But let me say this though. People forget. See, we knew Tank since we knew of Tank's ability since he was a child because he's from the area.
Yeah.
So all of that skill shit, he was on skill shit when he was a kid. So he wasn't just knocking out youngers and shit. He was boxing the hell out. He was real fast and real slick. So I don't know. Tank might bring out a different. You know what I'm saying? He might bring out the old tricks of the back, bring out the old tricks for that fight. You know what I'm saying?
So that'd be a good one.
That would be a chess match, man. Two southpaws, that'd be a pure chess match, man. I don't think it would be a knockout on either side. I think that would go down to who the superior boxer, man.
It had to be Tank. Don't win no cards. Tank don't go to the card.
No card, but one.
Tank don't go to the card. Yeah, it's Pitbull. He got one card.
He beat him with one hand. So
But Pitbull a mirror match. Them two the same fighter, man.
Yeah. But he still boxed the hell out of him with that one hand, though.
He probably a better boxer. He a better boxer than Pitbull, but they both just I'm trying to crack you.
Devin Haney, I don't think he can. Now, I know they're talking possibilities of Devin and my guy Lomachenko. What you think?
I got Devin. I got Devin. Yeah. I think he's just too big, too tall, too long, too rangy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Devin.
That being said, I never seen Loma outboxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never seen him outboxed. People done stuck with him boxing, but I never seen him outboxed. Yeah. So I don't know if Devin's a strict pure boxer. So you know what I mean? It might be a close chess match if it go down like that. But I just think realistically, I think he just too big. You know what I mean? For Loma.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still see what it is. I know is we've been saying about Loma, but he haven't fought in a while. So the hype about him is not the same as it would be for Devin because Devin's fighting. So I wish Loma had a tune up or something so he can remind us.
Well, he had the Ortiz fight a little while ago, the Jermaine Ortiz joint, but like you said, it was a tune up. He ain't look like Loma.
Loma, exactly. So he got to remind us a little bit about who Loma. We kind of forgetting.
Yeah, a lot of people saying, a lot of people think of age, man. Age might be catching up with him. You know what I mean?
Could be distractions. What's going on in this country too? Anything it could be anything. Yeah. But I still know Luma's a supreme fighter himself. So
yeah, he good boxer. He a good fighter.
Yeah,
he good. I like him.
Yeah, likewise.
But that's it, man.
For those that's watching, please hit the like and subscribe button. We had a little bump in a situation today between the legend himself, Julian Jackson, not being able to be on here. Yeah. Julian Jackson, is a minister, so he had a service to handle today. And we were planning to reschedule for Saturday. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. our time. He's in the Virgin Islands. He's on GMT 4 time, which is
Atlantic
time. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's on their time,
an
hour ahead of us. So we'll have to coordinate the times and make sure everything's right. But we definitely got it sealed for Saturday. I think Saturday is going to be a better day anyway. So we got it scheduled for Saturday at that same time. So also we will have tomorrow the legend himself, Henry Discombobulated Jones, will be on the show tomorrow at 8:30. Please tune in tomorrow, or if you're watching this, and most likely you'll be watching this on Friday morning. So for those that's watching on Friday, it's today. If you're watching on Friday, it's today at 8:30 on the Second Win Boxing Media. You don't want to miss this interview of it's Black History Month. Discombobulated Jones is the #1 ring announcer in the world, Black ring announcer in the world. There's no better, more consistent ring announcer than this Henry Discombobulated Jones. I remember Henry Discombobulated Jones when I was a child, and I used to dream of being able to hit for him to say my name during the fight. He actually did it in a couple of amateur fights, and it was a wonderful feeling. You knew you was there in this town when he said your name. So tune in for those that's watching on Friday, which is today, for Discombobulated Jones.
And if you're watching on Saturday, go back and look at it. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And leave some comments in the chat, because we try to come up with a challenge when we crack that 1,000 sub mark. So help us get there. Help us get there. Crack this 1,000. Hit that sub button. Just give us some.
Please.
Give us some some suggestions or whatever. I'm thinking about getting in the ring and doing a little sparring.
They're talking about some comebacks, man. You know what I'm saying? I go up there, get in some shape and go show some little younger, some little work a little bit.
I ain't never boxed, so somebody gonna beat my ass. If y'all want to see somebody beat my ass, get us to 1,000.
If I do come back, watch out for that goddamn left hook, man. It's still vicious.
But that's it, man. Second Win Boxing Media, baby.
Peace.